let's do this one. Where does Ignition have the greatest impact on a company's bottom line? Evelyn, you go ahead and start with that one this time.
That's great. Well, Ignition has an impact on every area of the company at different edges. I think financially would be like the one to mention, because we have said licensing and maintenance costs are less of any other software of similar purposes. The cost of deployment, support, and downtime are reduced to the capabilities to access remotely and how fast it can be online. It also helps to centralize data to make decisions to improve production with less raw material waste. So I think financially would be like the one of the top edges, but besides that, I think Ignition brings all the area of the company together. Thanks to Ignition, OT and IT are not apart anymore, so you can see the company as a whole.
Cool.
Thank you, Don.
Thank you. How about you, Remus?
Yeah, I think I'll take this a couple of different ways. And so because of the flexibility of the deployment and the deployment capability, you now have Ignition Edge panel, full-on Ignition, the flexibility of the modules, Cloud Edition. I think we can really tailor a solution to match multiple different expected outcomes for a customer. So whether it's we want to be able to deploy this as cheap as possible, Ignition Edge with licenses, maybe some cloud, or if it's we want to make it as robust and secure and all the other things as possible. And so for us, I think the ability to not have to fork up the massive license cost up front is a big one. The flexibility of different deployment models is another one. And then also the craziness of still offering an unlimited perpetual license, right? I think not many competitors in the space will do that. And then to go beyond that and offer it for free as long as you want by just sitting there and hitting the reset button. I've often joked that you could literally just hire an intern and pay them to just sit there and hit the reset trial button every 2 hours. But the cost of Ignition license, it would actually be cheaper to just buy the license. And so I think that goes a long way. I think just the flexibility, the unlimitedness of it allows a company to not have to worry about starting today and having the capability tomorrow to do what tomorrow's problems might require.
Thanks, Remus. Chris, your thoughts?
Well, it's in a similar vein. We don't have to calculate how much Ignition is going to cost us for any project. We know the costs, and I don't have to spend hours looking at tag count or seat counts. And I can say to my customers, well, going forward, if you expand, it doesn't matter. And you get like a stunned silence when they say, well, no. If I need 5 more people, 5 more screens, how much is it going to cost? And I said, well, if you've got the hardware, nothing. And so that's a very good reason. But for our bottom line, the speed of development, Perspective takes a bit more work, but Ignition allows you, you can do everything in adjacent. So you can build screens programmatically. You don't have to sit there and do them by hand anymore. You can build lots and lots of views individually and then import them. And Ignition has a really good facility for multiple developers developing simultaneously on the same project. And so there are no difficulties in merging projects together and things like that. And that is a real time saver. And that does save a lot of money compared to other SCADA platforms out there.
Thanks, Chris. Appreciate that. Scott, your thoughts on the question?
Yeah, Don, you may remember I came out and visited with the leadership at Inductive in 2023, and I just pulled up the slide deck that I brought with me, and so in terms of like bottom line impact, and we've all talked about licensing and time trials and being able to download software, but this is what I wrote down in 2016. Inductive automation really does run the company from their core principles and founding ideas: new technology, new licensing model, new business model, new ethical model. Get out of the integrator's way was what I wrote. Reduce friction. 3-minute installs, no limits on users, clients, tags, etc. Online university for training, downloadable trials, 30-day demos, etc. So to me, that kind of new way of thinking that Steve invented, having been an integrator and wanting to get out of not only the integrator's way, but the end user's way of, I've been a part of so many projects where we as an integrator or the customer will, what's the word I'm looking for? We will design a solution to work around the licensing model, right? And it's crazy. So if you don't have to design a solution to work around a licensing model, it just makes everything so much easier. And all of that vision and simplicity and lowering of friction falls to the bottom line, whether that's an integrator or the end user. So I think those are powerful concepts that would love, obviously you guys are continuing to run the business that way, but that is a winning strategy.
Just as an aside to what you said, I remember one of our water wastewater case studies out of Utah a few years ago had they were replacing a legacy system with Ignition. And the legacy system had been designed around finance, meaning how much can we do for the tag count to not go over the top to the next tag count requirement, basically. And when they finished their system, they were just migrating to try and get the same functionality. They had gone from a 20,000 tag system to a 92,000 tag system because they could do what the heck they wanted. And now they had so much more benefit because the people designing the system did not have to think about money. That was already handled. And Travis and I went down to it years ago. We went down to a now big customer, but down to a winery in the Central Valley around Modesto. And we were sitting in there, and outside the window was 20 different large wine bins where they shipped international wine. And we asked them about what they did to understand what was going on in those bins. And he said it would cost us $2,000 to get any connectivity to each one of those bins, so we don't have it. And they have it. They had to think about what they were going to get in data based on how many tags they have. So part of the reason for this webinar is just to have an informal discussion. So I'm going to go off script here a little bit and ask you another question, Scott. Having spent time with you there with the great system you guys developed, your MES work that you did, and you took me into Purdue, where I know you're a grad, your wife's a grad, your kids are grads, their spouses are grads. You are like Purdue, you bleed Purdue, I think. But you also get some benefit in terms of personnel. Chris said what he needs is more developers, not more salespeople. So can you just comment a little bit about, I know we have a university engagement program. We give software to over 200 universities and growing. Purdue's one of them. I think I heard they have 17 licenses now or something all over. So can you just take a minute? I know we don't have that much time, but just comment on that in relationship to your business maybe.
Yeah, and I think I'll just tie back into the community and the excitement. I mean, you can sense it from the integrators on this call. And I know, I think there's over 4,000 integrators now, well over 100 premier integrators. I mean, it has become a major tool in everybody's toolbox to solve problems. So, part of what we're trying to do, and I love that you guys support the university programs, because for years and years and years, other technology providers have seeded those universities with their technology. And guess what? If you know how to program a Rockwell PLC or a Siemens PLC, or use a particular piece of software, when you come out of school, what do you use when you hit your first job? You use what you knew from school, right? So it's a very, very smart strategy on your part to get students involved in that. Yeah, for us, because Purdue University is just an hour up the road, I don't know what it is right now. It used to be close to 60% of our folks were Purdue grads. It's probably closer to 50 now, but we do spend a lot of time with them, and they have put in some incredible smart manufacturing lab capabilities that we hope to keep encouraging Boilermakers to become flex dogs.